comic book jerk thought of the day. What's up, everybody? It's the comic book jerk again. Sometimes I like to do these little thoughts of the day status updates on my Facebook. You know, this gets a lot of stress off my mind and lets me actually talk to people about what I'm thinking about at the time. But instead of speaking from my mind this time, I'd like to speak from the heart and talk about something that I've been thinking about for a long time now. And one day I woke up and I realized, after getting dumped, that I myself could possibly be a superhero. And not just me, any of you geeks, nerds, dorks, fanboys, etc. All of us guys have a lot of problems getting girls, and we have a lot of problems picking up chicks or even talking to chicks unless, we're sipping on some bubbly ale. But we're not the only ones. Growing up, we had comic books to really tell us what the hell is going on with relationships. Like, something always tragic happens to keep the superhero's mask on and his heart closed in his suit. Like, let's take a look at Spider-Man, for example. Not only was he completely madly in love with Gwen Stacy, but she was in love with him, and things were going great until the Green Goblin dropped her ass off a bridge. That was pretty tragic, right? And it's shit like that happens. Like, there's tragedy involved with the relationships when it comes to being a superhero. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that perhaps maybe some of these girls just needed to die, you know what I'm saying? Some of these bitches needed to be dropped off the bridge. But not Gwen Stacy, man. She was a sweetheart. She didn't deserve it. But after watching The Dark Knight, I realized that bitch needed to be blown up. I mean, she sat there and she toyed with Bruce Wayne's heart. And she made him feel like, oh, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to leave Harvey Dent for you to come be with you. Well, not to get personal or anything, but I had the same thing happen with my previous relationship. I got with a girl who I thought was just the most amazing girl ever, and she would look at me with these eyes like, I'm never going to go back to him. I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to totally just give my heart up to you because I'm in love with you, and all this blah, blah, blah nonsense. But as a superhero, I knew that there was something. I had my guard up, And she was the type of girl that reminded me, like when I watched First Class, I thought of this girl because I thought maybe she is Mystique, Because Mystique pretty much leaves Charles Xavier paralyzed from the waist down on a beach with these, just going, go on, you want to be with my best friend who's now my enemy, just go on, And she was a redheaded, crazy, soul-stealing ginger. And she pretty much left me. I mean, she left me weeks and weeks of just, where did she go? What is she doing? Is she coming back? Put me through a lot of emotional stress while I was still trying to do the comic book jerk stuff at the same time, And, she really ruined The Dark Knight Rises for me, too, Right in the middle where Catwoman's locking Batman up to fight Bane, the fight was breaking up, and I had my phone out getting text saying that I was getting dumped and that she's in love with another man and that she's moving on. So everybody's like, hey, jerk, why don't you like The Dark Knight Rises? Well, would you like The Dark Knight Rises if your girlfriend dumped you right in the middle of the fight scene that you've been waiting to see since Nightfall Comics came out? Come on now. Bitch dumped me, left me. She pretty much left me. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about are these superhero movies. Like, everybody's seen Daredevil. And people say that this is the shittiest movie ever made and that Ben Affleck as a superhero is stupid. But when Daredevil's on the rooftop with Elektra, you really kind of feel this deep moment between them. But whenever he turns his back on somebody in the alleyway to go sleep with Elektra, I thought that was just stupid. If you're a superhero, you're going to give up pussy. You're going to give up vagina. You're going to give up laying and cuddling with a girl to go save somebody. Or to go, do something. For me, it's doing something for the fans. If I've got to do something for the fans, if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm about to get laid, I will give up that opportunity. Just like I did on the Unleash the Fanboy thing. I had an opportunity to get laid. But check out UnleashTheFanboy.com for a podcast. I lost booty in order to do that podcast. So don't feel bad for me, my friends. Feel bad for Daredevil. Because in the director's cut, he gives up the booty. He does. This is why I love the director's cut much better than this pile of shit that they released in theaters. Because in the director's cut of Daredevil, he doesn't leave the guy stranded. He doesn't, he gives up getting him a piece of ass in order to jump his ass off a rooftop and go stop some crime, And Coolio's in it. Motherfucker Coolio. I mean, you could go back and you could say, oh, there's plenty of superheroes that always get the girl, like Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. Well, go back and read the Ultimates comic, and you'll see that bitch gets killed. That bitch straight up gets killed. Sue Storm, dead. And let's look at Hank Pym, He got the worst of it. He walked in on the Blob pretty much ripping out wasp intestines and shit. I mean, that's the crazy fucking moment for me, It made me realize that even the superheroes that have girlfriends and wives, and it won't last long because they're superheroes, and something either tragic's going to happen or she's going to go and run off with another man, just like what happened in The Dark Knight. And, I really felt for Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight, and that's something that Dark Knight Rises didn't have for me, except for the breakup scene while I was texting, I mean, Rachel Dawes, she left him a letter saying, I can't do this, Bruce, I'm going to go and be with Harvey. Well, thank fucking God Alfred threw that letter away. And you know what? The bitch deserved to die, and I bet Alfred was sitting back going, yeah, that's what you fucking get for doing Bruce that way. And you can argue, well, what about Mary Jane Watson? Well, go back and read some Amazing Spider-Man comic books now. They're not together. Mephisto took care of that shit, or some dude like that. He made that whole relationship just go away. But anyways, people could say, what about Lois and Clark? You got Superman. Didn't it work out with them? Fuck no. Zack Snyder come in and pulled down his pants and took a whiz all over the fucking mythos of Lois and Clark, He takes her up and flies her around, and, he's still in love with her. But she's fucking moved on and had a kid with somebody else and all kinds of shit, which they try to say that it was actually Superman's and blah, 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 blah. But you know as well as I fucking do that there's no way that Superman could Lois Lane without making her head explode or blowing a load through her chest or something. Unless, I thought about the possibilities of this. There was a part in Superman 2 where he loses his powers and sleeps with Lois Lane, which could possibly mean that maybe Superman could have a kid. But why the hell do we want to think that hard about a situation when we know when it comes to being a geek and a nerd, it's hard to have a girlfriend. It's hard to get a girlfriend. It's hard to approach and talk to a girlfriend. So think about it this way next time, geeks, nerds, dorks, trolls, and fanboys, that if you really like a girl and she likes you, well, stick with her. As a superhero, I just have to say, we can do this, guys. We can find women. We can stay with women. But the problem is that we're superheroes deep down in our hearts and deep down in our legends that we have in our pages of our comic books. It might not work out, guys. And women, let me tell you, if you have never had sex with a geek, a nerd, a dork, or a fanboy, then you're missing out because we'll do about anything. We'll do about anything. We will make women feel like they're important, special, and a lot of girls, they feel like, oh, well, we like the jerk. We like the assholes, I might be a jerk about comic books, but when it comes to women, no. I'm not a jerk. I like to be polite. I like to stick with one lady, and I like to just be, But that doesn't work out too well, and I learned that yesterday while doing my Flash review, that it's kind of hard to be the sweet guy. It's kind of hard to take a girl out and be a hopeless romantic all the time because growing up, I wanted to be that superhero to the girl. I wanted to be the guy that got to marry Mary Jane Watson and stuff. And I wanted to be the guy that was there. I watch a lot of comic book movies, and I say you guys do too. And looking back, do you know any superhero that actually gets the chick? We watch Batman, but in Batman Returns, the chick's nowhere to be found. And then, we watch Batman Forever, and he gets the chick, but she's not in the next one, and he moves on. Bruce Wayne might be a player, and Tony Stark might be a player. And, we'll see how long the whole Pepper Potts thing lasts in the Iron Man movies. I don't see it lasting too long. I'm hoping in Iron Man 3, bitch dies, but, that's usually what happens in the comic books. The chick dies, but we may be surprised. Maybe he'll propose and they'll get married or something, but that's a little off in the distance. When you look back at this, you're going to say, jerk, all your ideas was incorrect. She puts on the Iron Man suit and kicks everybody's fucking ass, But that might not even happen. But even in the Hulk, I'll go back and watch the Hulk sometimes just because I want to throw up or I hate my fucking life. I just want to realize that there's something in this world that's worse than losing a girlfriend, and that might be the Hulk. I mean, watching the Hulk is worse, if not the worst possible thing ever, and it's just a horrible, shitty movie. He doesn't get the girl. He can't get her. In the Incredible Hulk, that's what I liked about it, is that there was this love between the two, but he's the Hulk and he can't be with her. I wouldn't technically call the Hulk a superhero. He's more like a guy that breaks a bunch of shit and stuff until you watch the Avengers and you got Ruffalo's dumbass acting like a fucking monkey and stuff, Monkey man. I'm a monkey man. Anyways, I look back at a lot of comic books and even the Green Lantern, I thought he was going to get the girl, but I guess he ends up having to go to another galaxy or some kind of crap and protect the universe. And which brings me to another point about Green Lantern. I mean, for a while I thought Kyle Reiner was going to get married to his woman and they was going to live happily ever after and stuff, but then he found her body pretty much dead in the fridge. I mean, how fucking grim and disturbing is that? That is pretty grim. I will drink to Kyle Reiner's girlfriend. Well, anyways, if you want to hear a little bit more of me bitching, I suggest you check out episode 20 of UnleashTheFanboy.com's podcast, which features the comic book jerk doing a special guest host. And hopefully, they might invite the jerk to come back to do some more podcast. UnleashTheFanboy.com. There's your free plug right there. UnleashTheFanboy.com. You got it? You got it? One more time? Well, anyways. So what I'm trying to get here, geeks, nerds, trolls, fanboys, all you guys that sit around on the internet and don't do anything but watch porn and look at cosplay and, dream of having that dream woman, just stop looking for it and she'll find you. And when she does, make sure you treat her good and nice, because if you and enjoy the time you are with her. Think of every moment that you have with her. And make sure she doesn't get away, because once she gets away, she has a chance of getting killed by a supervillain, Because all of us are superheroes, We grew up while girls are reading Twilight, we're reading Superman or Age of Apocalypse, where Wolverine and Storm are in love with each other and all that stuff. And we grew up on comic books. So and to me, the best romance novels ever could possibly be the love between Spider-Man and Mary Jane. And the love between Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy, which is also a love story and a tragedy. But this is the Comic Book Jerk. Check out Facebook.com/Comic Book Jerk and like me. Or check out the YouTube channel at YouTube.com/Comic Book Jerk. And I would say the Twitter, but it's pretty much the same thing, /Comic Book Jerk. And don't forget to check out the Unleash the Fanboy website, UnleashTheFanboy.com. And then find episode 20 of the podcast, which is co-hosted with the jerk and my man Harrison and some British guy.